early game. We came out flat. We weren't into them. We weren't protecting the paint. We weren't covering for each other. It was just all the little things that we just didn't do. I'm happy it happened now and not in tournament play. So at least it was a little wake-up call. I think we were feeling ourselves a little bit and thinking we're better than we were. Our execution was off. It just wasn't a very good game from us.
Coach, was it good to see them finish strongly in the fourth quarter because your team never did quit?
No, yeah, I finally found a group that was playing hard consistently. I was just trying to find it the whole game, and finally found it at the end. At least we finished the game strong, and we can take at least something good away from the game.
Was it good to see Chuck finally have a big game, put up some big numbers in the way he did to earn that game?
Yeah, I got to get him going earlier than that, and that's on him. He's got to be a self-starter. But yeah, we need him to play well, and we finally got to go in the second half, understanding what he's got to do to be good for us.
Did it seem like they were just really game planning against Trayvon more than he was used to in those first few games?
Yeah, they obviously, their goal was to take his shots out. He missed some ones that he's been making, but early in the game they were really focused on him. So I'm going to have to add some wrinkles to get him better looks. But overall, they just played harder than us. They were the hardest playing team.
What did you like about Trayvon throughout this whole process?
He's been great overall. I mean, his obviously his shot-making ability is something that all NBA teams covet, and it'd be great to get him on our main team. I think he's an NBA player. He defends, he competes, he can make shots, playmaking. He's got to work on that, off the dribble stuff, but he can do it a little bit. So we like him.
Is it about where you want it to be, and you guys just weren't finishing defensively?
Our pace can't be fast if we can't defend. We can still push it and get into stuff, but we're best when we're getting stops, and we can run off our stops. And we didn't get stops today. Our defense was poor. Our discipline was poor. We didn't cover for each other. We'll clean it up, and we'll be better on Wednesday or Thursday whenever we got to play.
Thanks, Ken.
On Blue, I know you're not in there, but you love your pay grade. But when you see a guy like that, a 4-year player, highly accomplished, is that sort of a matter of because he's been there for 4 years, teams just maybe see too much, and guy maybe gets kind of overlooked in the draft process compared to a younger guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think NBA teams worry about the efficiency. Can he really make the shots at the NBA level and be efficient? But I like the way he flies off screens, he's ready to shoot, on the catch. One of the hardest things for shooters is getting shots off of the level of play and the closeouts and the speed of play. He has that ability to get shots off quickly. So.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Like $100.
4 nights in Vegas, you gotta.
Like $100. Oh, can I take this shit on? Is that okay?
No, we don't know yet.
Yeah. I should leave it on so they know that I'm working.
The addition of Julius Randle, you're finally able to talk about it with us.
Yeah. How
did that kind of come about? It seemed like it happened fast, and what does he sort of add to you guys?
Well, it did kind of happen fast, but he's a guy that we've always loved, and the minute he became available, we jumped on it. So, and I think that he looked at our situation and saw that there's a good opportunity for him to play, and I think the style of play attracted him also. He's going to be able to get out on the floor and be a facilitator as well as something else. So I think it's a good match. I really do.
You think he'll be a good fit with the pace you guys play as well?
Yeah, the pace is not going to be a problem. As a matter of fact, the Lakers had one of the best paces in the league for the longest time, and it was by far really. So obviously Luke is kind of from the same school that I am from a pace standpoint, and being the Golden State situation. So we'll give him an opportunity to play in the open court, and I think that was just the thing that was the most attractive to him.
The mechanics of all that, was there almost a choice at some point between DeMarcus and Julius that had to be made? How did that all kind of come together? Because everything was within like 4 hours of each other. Can you kind of take us through?
I don't know. You'd have to check with Dell on exactly the steps that were taken. I just knew that he was available, and we thought that he'd be a great fit for us.
And just what's your reaction to losing a guy like DeMarcus? Obviously, he's had a lot to say, but I mean, what's your reaction?
Well, you know, he was great for us. You know, I mean, everyone forget that we won 8 out of 10 games before he went down. So, you know, free agency, there's just so many things that is involved in it. A lot of them, the coaches are not privy to, because the basketball ops people do a lot of that themselves. You know, but I just think that, you know, number one, I wish him nothing but the best. You know, I think he was good for us, put up big numbers for us, created a ton of mismatches in our situation. So I know he'll do well. He's in a great organization now, and he'll do well. You know, he just got to get himself healthy.
Coach, I know we're months away from even the start of training camp. Are you confident in the guys you've brought in to possibly replace Rajon Rondo and Cousins in this starting lineup, Elfrid Payton and Julius Randle?
Well, I mean, obviously you have to wait and see. We're excited about both those guys because we think that they fit into a style of play that we're accustomed to and that they are accustomed to playing. I think that in Payton's situation, he played in Phoenix, you know, for the last half of the season. And I think his everything that he did, his numbers and everything went up because I think that's what he's best at in an open court offense where he can create. He's very good at getting the ball to the basket. He's been that way since he walked into the league. So it just gives you an opportunity to now play with an open floor, and I think he'll do a much better job even now of getting the ball to the basket.
What was AD's role in bringing Julius in? And have you spoken to him about kind of where he's at, and is he?
Oh, I spoke to AD about it, and obviously, you know, he thinks Julius is going to be a good addition to our team. The one thing that I will say, and I don't know how it got out there, but someone said that AD didn't want DeMarcus back, and that couldn't have been farther from the truth, you know. So I don't know where that came about, but there was no truth to that at all.
What do you think about the fit with Elfrid and Drew? How do you think those guys will play together?
Well, I think they'll be great. You know, it'll give us an opportunity to be really good defensively, and you know, and I think you're going to see that Payton is he's a good distributor as well. So he's never really played with a guy that's a lob guy. You know, so those are all the things that I think he'll get better at right away. Having AD rolling down through the basket. So, like I said, you know, we added 2 guys. Obviously, we lost a couple of guys that were the integral part of what we did last year. So we'll see if they can replace those guys.
You replaced the center in DeMarcus with a power forward in Julius. Was that sort of the plan to go that way if it's DeMarcus?
No. I mean, we were just lucky to get Julius. He was available. Thought he was a really good player to fit into what we were doing, and so that's why we signed him.
One of the reasons that you guys like Julius is it seems like he's gotten better every year of his career. Just at this stage of his career, it seems like
he's been a hard worker, and I think that's part of it. And he's a really young kid. You know, everybody forget about that. You know, not like we're signing a 30-year-old guy or anything. So he gives us an opportunity to grow, and hopefully he'll be one of the core guys for our team for a long time.
How unique is it going to be to have a trio like AD, Julius, and Nico, just 3 big guys that are so versatile and do so many different things?
Well, I think that's where the league is going, in that direction. You know, obviously we were counter to that last year, you know, with DeMarcus, but we also created a lot of matchup problems. But in our case, you know, we just signed 2 players that we think really have an opportunity to help us, and you know, obviously we got Ian back, and just having familiarity with what we're doing and have another year, I think it's going to be great.
Are you disappointed to lose Rondo, and how does Elfrid? What are the things he can do to replace?
Well, I mean, obviously Rondo meant a lot to our team from a leadership standpoint. You know, he did a lot with the guys, and as far as team building and team bonding, you know, he was really a integral part of all that stuff that took place. But you know, he chose to go somewhere else, and we wish him nothing but the best, and he was great when he was here and did a great job for us.
Coach, can you give us some impressions of Trayvon Blewett and any other guys here in Summer League that have stood out for you?
Oh, I think there's been a few guys that have played well and done a good job. You know, I thought that the one thing that I was really happy about, you know, just watching Frank play the few minutes that he did, I think you can see he's going to have a great feel for the game, and that's for a guy that really hadn't played in the last 2 years. So I'm really excited about him, and I think he's going to I think you're going to see a really good player when he's healthy enough to get on the court and stay out there.
Obviously, Rondo and DeMarcus brought so much on the court, but what about what they brought off the court of their voices in the locker room? How hard do you think it'll be to replace what they brought in that aspect?
Well, I think AD is becoming the leader of this team anyway. You know, I mean, I think he stepped up big time last year from a leadership standpoint, and I think he's just going to continue to get better in that part. So I'm not worried about that part of it.
What will DeMarcus do for the Warriors?
What?
What will DeMarcus do for the Warriors?
Well, if he's healthy, he's the best player at his position in the league. So, you know, that's really an area where they've struggled somewhat and been a little inconsistent. But I think, you know, he's a great player. I mean, he's been that way since he walked into the league. So if he's healthy, it's going to be, you know, a position that they felt where it's really been an upgrade.
I feel like the team has improved this offseason.
I like what we've done, you know, and it's so hard to say anything until you get out on the court and play. You know, I think it's easy to, you know, to talk and say certain things, but it doesn't really matter until you actually get out on the court and play.
Do you understand why people are really worried about the Warriors, the best getting better, and whether or not the other 29 teams have a chance?
Well, that's the NBA. It's supposed to be that way. You're supposed to try to put out the best team that you possibly can. And so, if anything, I agree with what Daryl Morley, you know, said. He said, you know, it's up to us to catch them. You got to do everything you can to catch the Warriors. So they put together a great team. They've drafted great. Had, you know, guys in free agency that wanted to come there. That's what it's all about. So we have to pick up our game. It's not that they should, oh, we're too good, let's give away 2 players. We got to find a way to catch them, not them come back to the pack.
I'm sure we're going to get a chance to talk to Alfred more when he's available to speak with us. But do you guys get a sense of how excited he is to be back in his hometown and be able to play?
Well, you know, that was a non-factor to him, and that's what I like best about it. He said, doesn't matter to me. I'm going to go to the place where I think I best fit in. So I think he's going to be really good, though.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
Okay, good.
Time. Kind of the breakdowns defensively that allowed them to take such an early lead?
It's kind of tough, you know. That's early game. You know, I think we didn't come with it. We come a slow start, but I feel like we pick up the end of the game, but it was kind of late. But we played second half really, really good, you know. But first half, you know, we kind of like sloppy. We didn't pick up the pace quick. But I feel like second half was really good, you know. Especially I'm speaking to me, you know, I didn't pick up in the first half too. I was kind of slow. The second half, I just picked up the pace. I feel like we got to get better as a team next game.
What do you think you did to really get yourself going on offense in the second half?
I was talking to Kev, and Kev told me, you know, just take your time, just keep playing, you know what I mean? Even though you miss a shot, just keep playing. Play defense, you know, just take your time offensively. If you open, take a shot. If you're not, just take your time. So I feel like I got to take my time. I wasn't rushing. But second half, I just take my time and make myself going.
Did you make a concerted effort just to run the floor more in the second half? It seemed like you beat them down the court a bunch of times.
That's what I do best. Like, you know, I started the game so slow, you know what I mean? So that's not only me, that's everybody, but I speak to myself. So I feel like the second half, I was talking to myself, I need to pick up. Because everybody looking at me, I'm the leader of the team, so everybody looking at me, oh, wow. If a sec didn't go, so I feel like nobody want to go. So that's why I was forcing myself, just keep going hard.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shaq.
That's it, right?